got back all in one piece. We do have a quorum present, so let's stand for prayer and pledge, and we'll get started.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today and with grateful for the rain that you've given us. We ask that you bring more to us. We also ask that you be with Judy Juke as she mourns the loss of her husband, Bobby. We ask that you be with everybody here today as we go about and do your work. We ask you to be all first responders and bring peace to our world. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay, Ms. Sweezy, do we have any citizens that would like to be heard this morning?
Yes, we do.
Okay, who we got up first? All right, Mr. Shockley, come on up.
Good morning. I hope all y'all had plenty of turkey and enjoyed it. Lord knows I did. Anyway, first off, starting out, I'd like to thank deputies that have been helping keep my cows that haven't listened to my whispers to stay inside the fence. But maybe I get to mowing being able to shred it in the ditch, because last time that old boy come through, he just did one swipe. But can't get in there now anyway. They're fracking across from us and got hoses in the ditch. But anyway, I'd like to thank the deputies for that. I really do appreciate it, and everybody that's called and helped with it. The other thing is I'd like to thank some of the young people that are coming up and deciding to, be more involved. I'm glad to see that, especially the ones that are running for office. I wanting to run and starting to get involved. I appreciate that. I've come up here a lot. I'm probably a thorn in y'all's sides at time, and I'm going to call you on things that I don't agree with. And it's a wonderful thing about living in the United States. Something to be proud of. But y'all won't have to worry about seeing me up there and having my signs out, because I've decided I ain't going to run. But I will tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to continue to come to this place as much as I can and still be involved. And I'm looking forward to that. With that being said, I still got about a minute and 10 seconds. Last time I was here, I saw or heard y'all talk about getting safes for the JPs and worried about, because Tom did an audit on them. And I just was wondering about when's the last time Road and Bridge had an audit on it. Y'all gonna hear me talk about Road and Bridge a lot, especially because they have the biggest part of the budget. That's why. And that is where a big part of my concern is. So I'd like to see an audit on them, because I can't remember the last time that it was done. Maybe it has been and I just don't know about it. But anyway, I hope all y'all have a good Thanksgiving and have a good, pleasant, not Thanksgiving, Christmas. See, that's part of the senioritis and what I got going on. Sorry about that. But anyway, I've enjoyed it. Y'all guys have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Any others this morning, Ms. Sweezy? Okay, we'll move to item number 6, discuss, approve, disapprove, approve the contract for DRG Architects LLC, San Antonio, Texas, to provide design and construction administration services for a new Justice of the Peace building to be located in Fall City, Texas. Benny Lissy, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Well, we voted to hire the architect, right? And Mr. Perry Rebke is here, our architect. And we want to vote on this so he can start on the design and construction administration services for the new Justice of the Peace building to be located in Fall City.
Guys, I met with
I met with Commissioner Precinct 2 in Fall City that day. The gentleman was there. And we kind of went over what you had there. We kind of pinpointed some things that we thought maybe would be more beneficial to the county in the long run. We spoke about a wood frame, metal frame, so we did do a lot of conversation on the building, and I think you took what we were talked about with you, right? Okay. I know he made a lot of notes on there. We did have some changes on what he originally had brought to us. I don't know, I guess they already had talked to you, and that's how you got that schematic?
I did receive a sketch from the JP for that precinct, and I put it into kind of a CAD form, a little cleaner version of it, if you will. That's what I had brought that day that we marked on and looked at some ideas on how we could set the building on the site, whether it was going to work there or not, which I think we all agreed it would, without moving the current JP office, which was an important part of all that because we don't want to displace her while she's doing her business. Also, we did, as you mentioned, we talked about different types of building construction, the metal versus wood. Since we already, and as y'all probably know, tried to do bid out the archives building across the street twice, and it is also a metal building, by the way. There was some talk about how if we package those together somehow, or maybe not package them, but put them out at the same time, that being the same type of construction, it might be more attractive to somebody to try to do both of them rather than doing them individually as smaller projects. Because right now, what we're seeing and hearing a lot with these contractors, that they're picking and choosing what they want to do. It's a contractor's market, if you will. And if it's a smaller project, a lot of times they'll pass on it, because they have so many other larger projects that they believe that they have a shot at. Also, being a public project, it has to conform to certain rules and regulations. You have bonding and insurance requirements. You have wage scales that have to be maintained. It scares off a lot of the smaller companies. So those are all things that we talked about taking into consideration and trying to figure out some way where we could get these done for the least amount of money and possibly at the same time, because individually it's always a little tough with a smaller project. So I think that's the gist of what we talked about that day.
Right. Yeah, we discussed all the perimeter around there. You'd have enough room to the north side, to the east side, leaving the existing building there.
There is what do you call it? An easement on the, I think it's the west side?
North side, I believe.
North side, is it north side? Okay. It's along the fence there. And the city manager was there for Fall City, and he said that that could be, through a variance, could be deleted or changed to give more room. That's I think it was 20, no, it's a 60-foot easement along there, which,
Yeah, they're in the
if that could be
process.
done, that makes it workable on that site. If it's not, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to fit it in there, because it's a wedge-shaped site, triangular, and it's a little bit, you have to do it on that end. There's no other way, because it gets too narrow as it goes to the point of the triangle. So, but he was willing to work with us, and it was good to have him there, because I could get a little bit of a feel for what the city requirements are. And I'm grateful that he was there, because that cleaned up a lot of questions that I would have had going forward with this. So.
And the city is in the process of giving the county that right away.
Yes.
They've got it, their attorneys, and after they get it approved, or however they got to do it, then they're going to, said it's going to be done, and they're going to do it, but don't know have a date yet.
Well, we also looked at utilities that are available on site, which I think they're more than adequate. And they're not in the way right now if you're building behind the current JP office. So that's a huge plus right there. There's nothing in the way, so to speak, behind that building that's going to cause any problems. So it's a fairly clean site, fairly level site, which is always good too. That's what I recall of the meeting, yeah.
Judge, while I was there, I mentioned that maybe the front building, where that front building is, the existing one right now, maybe moving that one and moving the building up forward a little bit, just so it could be closer to the front. But y'all mentioned that the trees don't want the trees to be cut or nothing, right, Commissioner?
There is a
right.
tree, one tree behind the building, and one or two trees, I can't remember which, in front of the building. I don't think right now either one of those will really be in the way. The overhang of the one in the back might be, you can trim it back a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal to leave that tree there. I don't know about parking layout. That might be a little bit of an issue, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. I really don't. So.
My comments on this are, I've spoken with the JP and the constable. Now, something may have changed in the last 7 days since I've been out of pocket. But before I left, I spoke to the JP and the constable. They weren't in favor of spending that kind of money on that building. I know that we've been talking a lot for the last year and a half about getting something to Runge, and we're working on that right now. I believe that Fall City is in great shape with, as far as EMS. Judge Krzekwa is happy where she's at. Constable Hans is happy doing what he can do right now. We don't have that property yet. Everybody keeps saying it's going to happen, but we don't know that for sure. And until we know for sure that the city's going to give us that property or give us that easement, I would still like to focus on Runge, and we've budgeted money for Runge. We do have something in the works that we've talked about in the probably last couple of 3 months. So those are my comments and expressing the comments of the JP and the constable.
So, Judge, man,
Sure.
the question I have is, so you're saying that you want to wait till see what the city's going to do, if they're going to give us all the easements and everything before we go ahead on anything like this?
Absolutely. I mean, why would we enter into a contract that we don't even know that we're going to be able to build on? I mean, they keep saying they're going to do it, and maybe they will. I feel confident that they will. I know who the gentleman is that owns the property, but, you know,
No, the property belongs to the city.
it was deeded to the city from a gentleman, yes. But everybody keeps saying that that's going to happen, but we don't have that yet. So it's obviously something that I've been talking about for 4 years that I've been here, is to get some help for Runge, Fall City, getting the ambulance and the EMS to Fall City was a big help. We've spoken about Gillette. Casey and I have met with the fire department out in Gillette and the EMS crew out there. We want to start working on something, getting some help out there. I feel like Fall City is very well taken care of at the moment. And like I said, I'm echoing my feelings and the statements of the constable and the JP at the current time.
I spoke to a lot of people in Fall City, and they are really excited about this, and they'd like to see it happen. If this building, this layout, not only can it be used in Fall City, it can be used in Runge, Gillette, wherever else it needs to be done. I think we ought to go ahead and approve it, and
We don't even have land in Gillette. How do you know it can be done in Gillette?
well, if we do get land, there's a family that wants to donate the land to the county.
Just so you all know, our contract is not set on any time frame. If you want to wait or need to wait, it's not going to be a problem for us. We're not going to tear it up and come back with another one later. It's whenever y'all want to look at it, we'll be available.
Commissioner, Judge, what about, I'm just throwing this out there. I hear what everybody's saying, and I do see the need for what we need and all that. But if we're gonna try to put one in all these places, how about, Commissioner, we get together with the other people and see exactly what they need, and then do one building for all three that everybody accepts, so we don't have to keep going back to the drawing board and somebody needs 2 feet bigger on a courtroom, somebody needs an extra room here and there. It's kind of an agreement between everybody.
As the
and then write it
ultimate,
up.
that would be the best for, I think, the county,
Yes,
because then you're not having to redesign everything.
we do it
every
one time, and we
And
set
then
a
you just
building.
do what we call a site adaptation to it.
As long as the building is the same size, it can be reconfigured any kind of way on the inside.
Well, and that's true. My understanding, though, from what I thought I heard at the meeting last week, was that the one in Runge, y'all were discussing the possibility of putting an EMS station on that, correct? And I mean, I don't have any of that in my head right now, what that would entail, but it's possible that if we design it right on the first one, that it could just be an attachment.
Yes,
The EMS could just be an attachment. I don't, this is not a huge building anyway, so you should be able to, that should be able to be done.
Yeah, you
But
can
it's
make it
just a,
with room for expansion and,
yes,
yeah.
correct, yes, yes.
Have there been talks with the city about the property as far as getting the property?
He said it's gonna be done as soon as it gets back from attorneys. They're gonna do it, but it hadn't done as of yet, but it's gonna be done.
I would say that as far as the judge's comments, I would agree with that as far as going forward. It's best to wait until you actually have the property. You know, if we start working on design and have to stop and start, actually, it's going to be problematic for everybody. If that's still out there, I have no problem with us waiting on that. I think it's better to have that ironclad
We talked about that
property
the other day. We
ownership
couldn't start
from the
anything until
county,
we got the
county
property.
right now. I really do. I didn't realize that that was the case, but I would say that's probably the smartest thing to do for the county.
Judge, if I may,
Sure.
I think what we really need to do is to, judges in court, is to establish a building plan. Let's go ahead and see what we want to build where, put a timetable to it, a calendar to it. It may not happen, it may not, but let's just talk about what we all want to build within the county. We've got, I know this is touchy, but we're trying to, I think Commissioner Lissy is trying to give something back to the city of Falls City and his precinct. And I think, all the precincts are wanting something back from the county, means we have a healthy fund balance. Not to go spend it all, but you can do one project or two projects a year and still, I think, have a healthy fund balance. The big kicker is, what do we want to do and where and when? I believe in what Commissioner Lissy is wanting to do. I personally, before we do Runge, I'd rather go out to Gillette and build a thing for EMS to sit there with a responder. At least somebody could be there till the ambulance could get there, and we can establish a run factor, so, a more of a need. But I really think we need to establish a building plan.
Gillette and Runge are on an island right now. We've been trying to build a storage building for the history of Karnes County. And we want to skip over that. I mean, I've said all I needed to say.
Well, I believe in the record building. We should have built that 2 years ago.
Well, it was what, 500,000 was put in the budget in 21, 700,000 in
750.
23,
$1 million now.
and now it's a
Judge,
million.
does that thing have to be a two-story? Is there enough footprint there to do a one-story?
There's
There
not.
is, it's the footprint of the one that we have designed right now is it's a little under 2,000 on both levels. There's not much outside of that.
I think it's-
Because of setbacks and things of that nature, but there's just, it's a small site. That's why we went two-story, because with one story, it might suit your needs for a few years, but there's no growth space.
I think it's 16 down and 16 up, but we're getting too far in the weeds. We need to stay on topic on item number 6.
I'd like to say this, the New Braunfels and Seguin area is the fastest growing area in the state of Texas, and that's one county away from us. And we've got growth coming whether we want it or not. It's coming. And we need to be prepared for the future. Falls City Fire Department, they built a big building prepared for the future. Karnes Electric is getting prepared for the future. Otto Kaiser, City of Karnes City, and all the county school districts. And I think we need to get ready for it too. And I'll say something about the JP office in Falls City. It's tiny. And there's been 2 safety surveys done, and that is the least safe building that the county's got. And I think we need to do something to keep our employees safe.
What about Runge's safest building? We don't have one. What about Gillette safest building?
I
We
said
don't
the
have one.
least safest
We
building.
don't even have one in Ruggie, but we don't have one in Gillette. We don't
You
have
got
one
a
in
justice
Ruggie.
of the peace office in Rome.
That's not ours. We rent it
Well,
from
that's
the
where the justice
city.
of the peace is. It's not safe either.
It's absolutely, it's not, but I'm not gonna argue. If y'all want some more discussion on item number 6, I'm happy to do it.
Okay.
If
I
y'all
just
want to
wanted to
call
make
for a
note that
vote,
the building in Falls City is the least safe building in the county.
any other discussion? Anybody want to make a motion? Okay,
I'll make the motion that we approve the contract for DRG Architects LLC, San Antonio, Texas, to provide design and construction administration services for a new Justice of the Peace building to be located in Falls City, Texas.
anybody want to second that after comments by Perry up here?
I'll second.
Okay, you got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Motion, I didn't see Mr. Geisler. You against? Okay, motion fails. Item number 7 is an acknowledgement of a $100 donation received from Mr. David Chapman to go towards employee appreciation gifts for the 2023 Holiday Employee Appreciation Gathering. Bonnie?
Good morning, Court. Hopefully, everybody had a great, blessed Thanksgiving. This is just standard policy, just acknowledging that Mr. David Chapman donated $100 to our employee appreciation gathering that we'll be having here in December. It's just to acknowledge that.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. We appreciate that. I think you're
Very
sitting back
much so.
there still. Okay, item number 8, discuss, approve, disapprove the December 13th, 2023 hall rental agreement with KC Knights of Columbus to secure a half-day event to include a deposit/rental fee. Bonnie?
Okay, just echoing Judge's reading right there. This is just, since it's a contract, going by standard procedures and just making sure that it comes to Commissioner's Court that you all approve the half-day rental here for our employee holiday gathering appreciation for our employees, December 13th at the Karnes City Columbus Hall
Has
here in
anything
Karnes City.
changed in the contract from last year?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
Everything stayed standard the same. Yes, sir.
Okay, we need a motion to approve.
Make the motion to approve item number 8 as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, acknowledge the 2023 Holiday Employee Appreciation Gathering to be held Wednesday, December 13th, 2023 at the Karnes City Columbus Hall.
All righty, well, we'll end with just, like Judge said, acknowledging that we are going to be doing our annual holiday employee appreciation gathering where we show our gratitude and our thanks for all the wonderful employees for their work, hard work, and dedication to Karnes County. It will be Wednesday, December 13th, here at Karnes City at the Columbus Hall.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you all.
Item number 10 is to discuss, approve, disapprove our 2024 Karnes County holiday schedule. That's in front of y'all. Y'all take a look at it. Have some discussion on it if y'all like. 14 or 15 days this year? 14 and a half. The holiday schedule that is before the court is New Year's Day, which would be Monday, January 1st. MLK Day on Monday, January 15th. President's Day, February 19th. Good Friday, March 29th. Memorial Day on May 27th. Juneteenth on June 19th. Independence Day on 4th of July. Labor Day on September 2nd. Columbus Day, October 14th, Veterans Day, November 11th. Thanksgiving includes a half day on the Wednesday prior to Thanksgiving Day on November 27th. Thanksgiving Day would be the 28th. And then we have a Thanksgiving holiday for the Friday following Thanksgiving Day. Your Christmas holidays would be December 24th, December 25th, and December 26th. And we have a floating holiday birthday. That covered, yeah, that got New Year's.
Why the 26th? Is that part of the policy?
26 for Christmas holidays?
Yes.
I just included it in there to present it to the court. I think the day after Christmas, you still have all your family and friends around. Y'all don't have to approve it. I put it in there.
I just wondered if it was a policy or not. In Veterans Day, it's on a Sunday, but it recognized nationwide on a Monday or what?
Yes, sir.
Make the motion to approve item number 10 as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed to the holidays? Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss, approve, disapprove joint resolution, whereas Democratic Party of Karnes County. Beth, you want to come up? Democratic Party of Karnes County, Texas, and Republican Party of Karnes County, Texas desire to enter into a 2024 joint primary election services contract with the Karnes County Election Administrator as the county election officer. Beth?
So it says on the joint resolution, and it says, and whereas the Commissioners Court of Karnes County, Texas desires to give authorization for said contract, now therefore be it resolved by the Commissioners Court of Karnes County, Texas, that said Commissioners Court authorizes a joint contract by and among Marty Mitchell, Democratic Party Chair, and Rita Jordan, Republican Party Chair, and Beth Montalvo, County Election Officer of Karnes County, Texas, for the conduct and supervision of the Karnes County Joint Primary Election on March 5th, 2024, and the Karnes County Joint Primary Runoff Election, if necessary, on May 28, 2024. We have Monty Mitchell here to sign for the Democratic Party. Rita Jordan is attending a funeral, so she said she would sign this probably tomorrow. Any questions? This is the same contract. It was not modified. It is approved by the Secretary of State, as you see, on September of 2023. So this is the latest version of the resolution.
We approve the resolution, Judge, court,
As presented.
as presented.
Second, Commissioner Rosales. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, we're going to move to the next meeting. Tammy needs to make a couple adjustments to that tax report. Next, we'll move to the consent agenda. We have reports from the tax and DMV, Tammy's office. We have budget amendments 2024-04 in the amount of $1,604,456.87. And we have the $3,725 EMS, and that's for the AED devices, AED batteries and devices right there. Yeah. On the 1.6 million road and bridge, Tom?
They approved last meeting.
Just
Yes.
for one of the constituents had a question on
The
it.
budget amendment that was approved last meeting, they
Correct.
just wanted re-explanation of
Okay.
it, please.
Sure, we're moving $1.6 million from our local capital money, which is basically building projects, to over to our CTIF grant fund, which we use to track CTIF. And that's also going to be used to build more projects. This is basically, that money is going to be used to complete our CTIF grant and allow us to get the reimbursement for 80% of the $14 million we were able to bring in.
That was the, we had a budgeted amount of $100,000 in there, right?
Correct.
Judge.
Thank you.
You bet.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda with the reports and including the budget amendments.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? All opposed to that budget amendment. So make sure that that's noted in there. Item number 14, discuss any items from the consent agenda to be considered and acted on. Any? None. Item number 15, have updates from our commissioners, starting precinct 1.
There's a new, I sent an email yesterday to all law enforcement, and EMS. There's a new drug out there. It's been out there a while, but it's now starting to really come to light called carfentanil. It's 100,000 times more potent than fentanyl.
Ooh.
It looks kind of like cocaine, but we need to tell everybody, if they see, they better mask up and gloves or whatever, precaution, because it said, you know, and have that, Narcan handy. On December 13th, David Palati, he sent an email. He's a new traffic safety specialist for the coastal Bend area for TxDOT. And that is we are in that region, our TxDOT region, and, they're gonna have a coalition meeting, talking about projects and things to come and questions for if you have any. So I plan to go to that. I sent our IT people an email the other day. It says a cybersecurity risk awareness class at ACOG for officials and senior management, it's AWR 383. It's a course from, I think, from 9 or 8 to noon, but it's a course that's been, it's put on by TEEX. Also, everybody's aware of the cell service that was down. It went down Friday, the night, or Saturday morning at 3 o'clock. Came back up around 7, 8 o'clock the next day. I want to give Chief Ibram kudos for, he called FirstNet, got them to bring their generator and their little tower down here. It worked, good as it could, but there's still sporadic, issues with 911 as well as, regular cell service.
We've got to get
Robert, you got anything to say?
Yeah, again, it was a transport cable that was cut between San Antonio and here. And, they notified us at 3 o'clock in the morning, so we put in the plan, brought the trailer down. Luckily, we have a good stable radio service where the first responders can still work on our radio system. It crippled, all the cell phones on the FirstNet side and regular plus internet. ACOG had been working with us to improve the 911, so we were getting 911 calls, which was good. We weren't dead in the water on that. And then our in-house landline, they worked to keep those on also, where people were able to call in, the nursing homes, hospitals, all that could call in and we could respond to that. So we automatically put the plan in place, and we're getting a lot of complaints from the public. There's no credit card, no gas. I want to thank Wayne Giesler. He stepped up with Road and Bridge, Casey and I, and Wayne put that together. Then we went to Stripes on the Hill and had them put theirs in. Well, the bad thing about it, it crippled some of the gas stations too, where you couldn't even pay cash either. But normally, if your credit card goes out and you still pay cash and they can activate it, it killed all of that. There was no gasoline in the county either. So anyway, but the plan worked well. We got through it, and we're still trying to work out issues with AT&T. But again, it's a convenience, an inconvenience for everybody. But we worked through it and everything went all right.
Great job, Wayne, Road and Bridge. Great job, EMS, Casey, and Robert, Sheriff. Thank y'all for making that happen. Anything else, Shelby?
Also, Judge, next month, if it's all right with y'all, I'd like to, request that we have that, ECS study that they submitted to us about the core samples taken into annex. I would like for them to come to the court and
Absolutely.
discuss that in plain language,
Absolutely.
and explain the different densities and stuff, what they see. And, other than that, there's, I wanted to give also congratulations to, I mean, not congratulations, but I want to recognize the IT department. If you all will look at your emails and see all the stuff that Jimmy has sent out about filching, you need to read it and, pay attention to it. Everybody's starting to pay attention to more what's going on with cybersecurity and stuff, but yet sometimes we forget other things. So please read what they send out. And that's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. Commissioner Lissy.
Okay. First thing I'd like to do is thank all of our county employees for all the hard work they do. County Road 202, 212, 213, drainage and paving has been finished. And it really looks good. County Road 229 is in the process of installing culverts and drainage, and it's scheduled to be paved in the spring. Design work is being completed on the City of Hobson and County Road 194. Our road and bridge engineer and I have working on the design of the streets in Hobson and getting feedback from citizens and planning to have a community meeting sometimes in January about the streets and drainage in Hobson. And I'd like to thank Commissioner Duping for all the hard work he does with emergency management, and puts many hours in it, and lots of travel time. And I would also like to wish some of our area football teams, the Fall City Beavers and the Poth Pirates, luck in their quarterfinals games this Friday night. And good luck to them. That's all I got.
All right, Commissioner Rosales.
Morning. Well, these weeks involved on checking county roads. Some of the county roads were County Road 266, 290, 361, 304, and many more. Met with constituents out on the county roads. Met with the engineer and discussed the County Road, Riverville Road on several occasions. Met with Renee on several occasions regarding the auditor's office. Been checking on the building daily, talking with the guys there. Phone conference with Kelly regarding the Gillette Cemetery, about a culvert pipe there. I have been working with them for a few months on that. Met with Commissioner Precinct 2 about a new county building in Fall City. Answered calls and just helped as needed. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Geisler.
Good morning. I would like to thank Road and Bridges for the quick response on the Houston Street. After we had that passed last week, they've really kind of gone to it, and they're really pushing to get that thing done. So thank you, guys. Thanks for the hard work. I'd also like to thank Renee for his efforts on the lighting of the Capitol. It looked really good. Courthouse, I'm sorry. It's Capitol. Courthouse. So it looked really, really good here. And thank all that were involved with that. That looked amazing. Other than that, Judge, that's all I have.
Thanks. Tammy, do you want to do your report? Okay.
Good morning. How's everybody today?
Morning.
For the month of October, it was the very first month of the fiscal year, so all the month-to-dates and the delinquent month-to-dates are going to be the same. For the county M&O, the current month-to-date was $549,070.97. It was the same for the delinquent month-to-date and was 2.51% collected. The delinquent, I said that wrong, I'm sorry. The current month-to-date and the current year-to-date are going to be the same, since it was a new fiscal year. The delinquent month-to-date and the delinquent year-to-date are going to be the same also, and that was $10,774.90 with 2.05% collected. When y'all had the last Commissioners Court, I was not able to be here. I was in Waco at a conference, and as of this morning when I left, it was 8.05% collected so far. When this report was done, it was 2.51%. And we're getting tons of mill in, which is good for the county. On the INS, for the month to date and the year to date, it was $116.34 with 70.77% collected. On the road and bridge, for the month to date and the year to date on the current, it was $88,561.05 with 2.51% collected. And on the delinquent, month to date and year to date, it was $2,115.81 with 2.08% collected.
Any discussion for Tammy on that? Okay, we'll move to item number 17, discussion / acknowledgement of personnel changes to all departments. The Karnes County Employment Report for the Commissioners Court on November 28. We do have a new hire, Jennifer Kale, in the tax office. She is part-time, don't have any resignations or terminations, and none retired. We're currently hiring a part-time deputy district clerk and patrol deputies. How many? Sheriff, how many patrol deputies we need?
Still 8.
Monica Rosales, Severo Salas, Taylor Thompson, Hayden Tucker, Vanessa Zuniga, Esmeralda De La Garza, Priscilla Mejia, and Holly Tietzman. And birthdays in the county are Christopher Driver, Shelby Dupnick. Both of those have passed. I think we've passed all of these, but tell them happy birthday anyways. Robert Ibram, Dylan Garza, Lindsay McFarlane, Joy Morales, Benito Perez, Denise Rodriguez, Daniel Salias, Michelle Salias, Mary Tam, and Taylor Thompson, as well as Marina Garcia. Okay, item number 18, payment of bills.
Court, I sent the bill list out last Tuesday afternoon. So the total bills for today are $1,573,482.59, which the majority of that is road and bridge of $1,210,000, and $277,000 of that is the CTIP projects. And all the bills before they're presented to court, we make sure the ones that we have contracts on, that we do make sure that what's being billed to us is what court authorized in the contract. We don't submit it. And if we have any questions, we concur with the county attorney's office to make sure everything's correct. There was also one other large bill that's under for co-file for $284,503.83 that one of the commissioners asked me about, and I believe, Carol, that's for the indexing.
It was for imaging to get.
We're pretty close to being done with that.
The official record, yes, but not with the probate and stuff like that, but with the official record, yes, and the vital.
And the last thing on the bills on the CTIF project, my office just did an audit of all CTIF invoices that went to the state from the beginning of the project up to the most recent invoice. I'm gonna get with Mr. Geisler before next court, give him our findings, and then it'll be brought to y'all at the end of December. We audited every invoice submitted to the state.
Well, I see on your last page, the count summary, where you show the, I guess the argon oil and stuff. Do you show the demerge in that number?
Show what, sir?
The demerge? There's one time they have a truck that sits there, well, that truck sits there on motor oil, they have to pay the truck time to sit there.
He was asking about demerge.
I'm asking Tom about his last account, on his numbers that he had, if he's showing the demerge cost for that one, he had one oil where he had a demerge time.
I'm sure the demerge, I'm not sure, let's see, it's, is this on 201, Commissioner?
It doesn't say.
Just find it real quick in your list.
It shows demerge 5.25 hours. It's on page 5 of 8, $472.
Maintenance job, so that was, oh, actually it was a capital job, so it was included with the project. Yes, sir.
Okay, and your other oil that you bought, that goes in those tanks or not?
No, sir, we have not put oil in the tanks yet. We basically are having that, we had that, in that particular instance, sent directly to the field.
Thank you.
Now, the other correction I would offer, Tom, is the majority of the bills were not to CTIF for this
Correct.
month.
Yeah,
But it was
no.
actually,
No, 277,000 was for CTIF.
right, the majority of the bills.
Correct, were
The majority of the
local.
bills were local capital.
Correct.
So that
I
was one
apologize.
clarification.
Sure.
No, any other questions?
Hey, Tom, we on for months now, maybe a year or so, I guess, maybe not even a year, but for months. You've got two charges here, that is a plus, then you did some minus.
Commissioner, I mentioned this before, so we cannot put a credit in the system until we get an invoice to charge against it. We can't have a credit balance for a vendor. So that's the reason why you see the in and out on those. We get those with the blood bank lots of time as well.
Well, this one has, it's been.
So if the vendor has a credit balance, we can't pay a credit invoice to a vendor. So that's why you have the in and out. We have to wait till we have an invoice to match up to that.
That's
You
what
see it a
I'm
lot.
saying, what's the problem getting an invoice?
Sir,
What's the problem getting an invoice?
they might have gotten a credit on something from 6 months ago. They haven't bought anything from the vendor then in another 6 months. It's a matter of timing. And we can address it with the department that has the credits directly and ask them why they got a credit from months ago and why they're not purchasing from that vendor anymore.
Thank you.
This was addressed several months ago. It's a system issue with Encode, and we talked about that. It was several months ago, but
Well, I figured by now we would have got it cleared.
I completely understand, but as I understand it, we actually were trying to do that, and there's nothing we can do until something is charged to HOD, I think is what he's saying. It's some kind of encode system malfunction. Or not necessarily malfunction, it's just an encode system criteria. So.
Because otherwise you'd have a credit on this bill list and we didn't pay that amount because that credit is hanging there to get paid whenever we have an invoice to post against it.
I guess, what confuses me is that the credit and the invoice are the same amount. We ought to
Correct.
be able to get them zeroed out.
Well, they're not always 100% the same amount.
Thank you, I'm sorry. I move we pay the bills. I'll second that.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor of paying the bills, raise your right hand. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item number 19, acknowledge the Commissioners Court will meet not on December 8th, but on December 12th, 2023 at 9 a.m. in the Karnes County Historic Courtroom located at 101 North Pan Maria Avenue, Suite 200, Karnes City, Texas, 78118. I apologize for that typo. Item number 20, you need a motion to adjourn. Need signatures on bills and resolution before you go.